Episode 5, we're live. Bars.
Welcome.
Prince Huda podcast with Coach Chippy. I'm your host, Prince Huda, joined on the man to my right
Could we get a
by
drum roll, please?
Coach Chippy.
Thank you.
Coach Chippy. Boo, 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 boo.
Thank
We'll get a
you.
soundboard eventually. We'll get a
Yeah, let's get
soundboard at
a.
some point, but
I
that's
want
all you
every
got.
episode, I want the introduction to be even more extravagant. I think that's. I want to see every episode an improvement on the Coach Chippy introduction, please.
Well, I don't want to glaze you, though, as
I
the
want to
kids
see
say these
improvement.
days.
I want to see
You want to see
improvement.
glazing?
I want to see double dipped, glazed with
Or meat
cream
meat
with cre-
riding, as the kids also
with,
say?
with cream stuffing inside.
Oh. They also
Yeah,
say
I
meat
want to see.
riding.
I want to see a Boston cream donut glazed. Okay. Every
Okay.
time I hear you introduce me, I need it to be improved. Okay. It was good today.
Okay.
It was good today. It was good
Okay. I
today. I
give
didn't
you a
like the
drum
way I
roll.
had to. I didn't like the way I had to say drum roll. You know what I mean? I had to tell you to do the drum roll.
I mean, we have
So
we
I
have
need
these
you.
pre-production meetings. You can let me know beforehand. Yo, by the way,
I need
today,
you. That's what I'm
give me a
saying.
drum roll.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I'm expecting a mariachi band next time you do the introduction.
Mariachi band.
Yeah.
In this environment, I mean, we'll get
Yes.
there. We'll get there at some point,
As long
you
as we
know?
get there.
I'm sure we'll get there. I mean, it's episode 5. Hope everyone's having a great day. Whether you're listening or watching, we appreciate you. Bit of rough weather, not necessarily for my end, but a lot
Hmm.
across Canada. Did you get hit with a lot of snow
Hmm.
last night, Chip?
Hmm. Did I? Hmm.
Did you? Am I missing
Hmm.
something here?
You could say there was a little bit of blizzards. There was some blizzards.
Adding some sound effects, I see.
Yeah, no, we did get some. We got some snow. Not too much. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, we're not gonna be able to move the car." And then it's been pretty chill. I'd say not as much as we were expecting. Everyone's expecting this massive storm, but it's pretty on par with January in Canada, in Ontario.
That's fair. I got a bone to pick with
Hmm.
meteorologists and the weather industry as a whole because
Let's talk
I
about it.
woke up this morning. I woke up this morning expecting to see tons of snow. I had to leave early for something, and oh, I got to shovel. I got to do this. I got to do that. There was nothing on the ground. There was nothing on the ground, and that's the second time this week. Earlier this week, oh, there's going to be a snowstorm. Terrible conditions. Stay at home. It was fine. So twice this week, the meteorologists of Mississauga, Ontario, have been incorrect, and I want them to be held accountable for their misinformation.
I was gonna say, how ridiculous is that? Eh? How unforgiving that is. Like that was not the word. I had the word in my head that I wanted to use there. It was not either the words I used, and it was how un. I was the perfect word. How
Unfathomable.
unforgivable. How I
I
just
agree
didn't
with you
get the right
though.
word. So I agree. I was good. I am really upset with myself for completely blanking on the word that I wanted because it was a perfect word, and I was like, you know what? And it would have kept the segment going, but then I just buffled it, and now it's like ridiculous. But yeah, I can't believe they're not getting it correct. Like that's
It's their
unbelievable.
job. It's
It's
their
their
job.
job.
Like you think about sports, like guys get reports wrong about, oh, this team is signing this
Unacceptable.
player.
How I got
Unex-
it. I figured it out.
there it
How
is.
unacceptable is that? How unacceptable is that?
Incredibly, because we trust them. Like we don't know anything. I don't. Do you own a Doppler radar? Have you ever seen one of those? I haven't. Right. So these guys are obviously paid professionals. We take their words at value. Okay, it's going to snowstorm. I'm going to prepare my day around this snowstorm. I wake up, there's no snowstorm. What the hell? I'm upset about that
And
stuff because if you're wrong, you
yes,
deserve punishment and to be held accountable. So I don't know. You tell me what you think.
totally agree. Like I remember back in the day when they'd be like, "Hey, we're getting 5 feet of snow." Wouldn't study for the test I have the next day because I'm like, of course the buses are going to be canceled. And then I wake up and the buses aren't canceled, and I didn't study for my test, and I got to go to school. Like, how unacceptable is that? It's
They should cancel
absolutely
the test.
ridiculous. They should cancel
Yeah,
the
it's
test
dumb.
because the weather reporter, the meteorologist, just decided to have an off day. And you're like, man, I needed you on that day. I need you to show up today. And they didn't show up. And that's unacceptable. Again, there's that word. That's
Word of the
unacceptable. That's going
day.
to be the name of this episode. Unacceptable.
Unacceptable conditions, for sure. My high
Unacceptable
school was funny.
predictions.
Unacceptable predictions. I like that. My high school was weird. Like they took pride in the fact that they'd never close. So no matter how bad the snow is, someone in the office would be at the school would be open. They'd not run the buses, but there'd be days where it's like, oh well, despite the snow outside, we're still open, and they'd brag, we haven't had a snow day in like 10 years. And then I think I
Oh,
was
you're one of
in
those schools?
the yeah, I think I was in the ninth grade or 10th
That
grade when they
sucks.
finally did close. It was like, yeah, screw you guys. Snow rules.
We
I
always
don't even
got
want to
snow
shout them
days.
out.
We were like, I don't even shut them out. Our
No.
division always got snow days. Like our buses were always canceled. That was never one of those, divisions that didn't get like. It'd be like, oh, everyone else is canceled except for your uh district. You're like, I never had that, so I never knew what that feeling was. Um, it seems to like when I was growing up around here, we just got so much snow. It's definitely less snow now. This year we barely had any snow, so that's what I'm saying. It's we got some snow last night, but it's relatively on par with what it should be. We should have had a lot more snow by now, so can't complain. Meteorologists need to get it right, and I think
Yeah,
we can both agree on that. And if you're gonna predict the weather,
totally.
let's be correct. You know what I mean? If you're gonna tell us something, be correct with it.
Yeah. What I want to know is when's the next time I'm going to see the sun? Because I've been home from vacation,
Oh,
uh, going on
oh,
2 weeks as of Monday. I haven't seen the sun since I've gotten back. So
oh!
was
You're
it
not
just
allowed to complain.
hiding? Like,
You're not allowed to
what's going on?
complain. You were
I'm
just
a little
you.
greedy.
Yeah, don't get too greedy because I'm allowed to say that because I don't think I've seen sunlight in the last 6 months. Like we're dating back to like September, like even August. Like, have we seen sunlight in this part of Canada in the last 6 months? Like, I don't know. It's felt pretty
Very
gloomy,
gloomy.
and honestly, like every part of me looks like a ghost. To be
Ghost.
honest, I'm like, holy, I'm getting holy, Coach Chip. You could use some sun. I'm like, yeah. I
Are the comments
agree
saying
with
that?
you.
Like, are you getting comments like, "Oh, why is this
I
guy
call
so
I
pale?"
called myself out. I called myself out.
Okay.
I wouldn't see any
Okay.
comments, but I did call myself out in a video. I was like, damn, like it would be nice to go to Anaheim because your agent could use some sun. That was actually the skit. It was Cutter Gauthier going to Anaheim, and Coach Chippy is the one that started that deal because he needed some sun. So that was the skit.
Can
Because
we
wow,
talk about that a little bit? Like, obviously the skit was hilarious, but what was the real reason he didn't wanna play in Philly? Like, what happened there? That just seemed like such a nightmare for a few days.
like from what I'm understanding is the organization didn't offer him a deal to play in the NHL, and he thought he was ready to be in the NHL. I'm just making this up. I got no idea, but this is what I'm
Okay,
hearing.
okay.
Let's say you get drafted 6 overall and you think you're ready to play in the league and you want to sign $1 million contract for the next season. And then they say, "Hey, we don't have the money. We're going to send you back down to Boston College and you can go play college again." And now you're cheese because you're like, "Man, I think I could dominate the show. I'm 6'2", I'm 195. Believe in me, I could easily play in the show right now and I can develop and I don't got to go back and play college hockey." And then they're like, "Nah, we want to send you back anyway. We don't want to pay you." And then you're like, "All right, well, obviously this organization doesn't believe in me. Maybe that's what he's thinking. Be like, man, like, uh, if they really believed in me, they would assign me. I'm sixth overall pick. You know what I mean? I think I can play in the league next year." And then they don't. And then now you're like, okay, well, you've kind of lost trust in the team, and they don't trust you. And now it's like you're kind of beefing, and now it's like, oh, just trade me. I don't know. Made that whole thing up. That's just off the top of my dome what could have been happening. Um, they didn't sign him to his entry level contract because I heard they didn't have the money, or they would have been over
Hmm.
the salary cap with the bonus that he would have received, because I think every player gets $1 million bonus that they can sign if they're a first rounder or something like that. I don't know everything about it. Okay, I'm not doing the research, but from my gist, from the gist that I heard, yeah, there was some money constraints, couldn't sign him, and then they sent him back. He thought he was probably ready, and yeah, I don't blame him. I'd be pissed too. I'd be like, if I'm league bound, if I'm show bound, and I know I could play, and then you send me back down to like NCAA, I'd be like, man, like, send me to Anaheim because I want to go catch some sun and play with Zegras and the boys and go light it up on every power
Yeah.
play and not have to worry too much. So I don't know. Anaheim seems like a pretty good destination. I'd say he's feeling pretty good about his situation now. I'll tell you that. Tell you that for free ski. Eight Prince for free ski. I'll tell you that.
I
Anaheim seems like a
appreciate
great
the
destination.
yeah, like obviously not on the ice, but off the ice. I mean, you live in Anaheim. There's probably not a lot of media attention that you play for the Ducks. Disney World's right
It's
there.
cruise control.
Like just yeah. You ever been to Disney World?
It's cruise control. I've ever been to Disney World. Yeah, I've been to Disney World. I think once when I was like 8.
Yeah. Disney
How about
one of
you?
them's in Florida, Disneyland or Disney World, and the other one's in Anaheim. I
Yeah, I don't
went
know
to
which one. I think. Oh, not the one in Anaheim. I went to the one in Florida,
me too. I went to the one in Florida.
which
And
is
it was
Disney
like
World,
3
right?
years old, so I don't remember it. Like, I'd love to go back, but at this stage, it's probably a bit weird for 24-year-old single male to be going to Disneyland, so probably have to wait till I have a kid for
Well,
that
yeah.
one.
What's your thought on that? What's your thought on older generations going to Disney World?
Hey, listen, I'm a fan. If I lived in range of it, I'd go, but obviously it's just a tough look, me going in there by myself. Obviously, I'd wanna go with some friends, like, or maybe a girl, or hopefully, like, a younger
I
niece or
think so.
nephew or
Yeah.
little cousin, but, yeah,
Yeah.
I'd love to go. I don't remember going because I was, like, 3 years old when I went, so I would love to go, but I just kinda need the right crew to go with to make it look
Yeah.
more
Maybe don't go by
less weird.
yourself. Yeah. Definitely have a group. Yeah. Maybe.
You don't think Prince could
Yeah. That
roll
makes
into
sense.
Disneyland solo
I
on
mean,
his
you
own?
could. Riding that. Maybe like, who's this guy riding the rides with his sunglasses on
The teacups,
by
yeah.
himself? That's
Yeah, that would
hilarious. I'm
be
not a big amusement park guy. Are you like an amusement park guy? Like I'm not dying to go
not
to the amusement
really.
park
Like,
and go
we
on
had
roller
Canada's
coasters.
Wonderland. I went to Canada's Wonderland when I was a kid a little bit, but, like, I'm not a big roller coaster fan. I went to Universal Studios last year with some family because my cousin, she's, like, a huge Harry Potter fan, and that's the one where they have the Wizarding World, and we took the train to Hogwarts, we had butterbeer, and it was amazing how much they make it look like the actual movie, but, like, that was cool because it wasn't a lot of rides, it was more just sightseeing and stuff, so that was fun, but, yeah, not a big amusement park guy on my end.
Yeah, like, do you trust those rides? Like, you know what I mean? I'm seeing these rides out in the middle of the blizzards. Are they really going up to that top of the behemoth to check to see if that rust at the top? Yeah, I just don't
No.
trust it. I just don't. I mean, I go on. I've been on all the rides. Like, man, like, do we trust that worker? That's sitting there getting paid $14 an hour. To make sure your seatbelt's in tight. Like, is he really like checking that tightly? I don't know. I don't know. I think he
No.
might be on Snapchat hitting his vape pen and not worrying too much if you're locked into the behemoth ride. So I'm always double checking. I'm always the guy. Yeah, like before we take off, I'm like, can we check mine? Check mine, please. Like, can we check my? Yeah, let's make sure this thing's cranked down. Crank it down, sir. Yo,
Tight.
stop hitting the vape and come over here and fix my seatbelt, please, before we go on to the behemoth.
Behemoth. Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember riding that. Are
I'm
you a
always
guy
I'm
that
always the guy double checking.
do you keep your hands in the thing, like, holding that, brace, or are you, like, hands in the air, "Woo, look at me."
I feel like now I'd be hands in the air, let it go, let it float. Maybe not though. No, I'm holding on. No, I'm absolutely holding on. I'm not one of these guys because if that thing does come out, I am still hanging on, and I am like, let's say those ones that come out like this. Like I'm holding
Yeah.
on to that thing in case that thing, you're going down, and now like I could be like hanging off because I would be holding that thing so tightly that there's no way I'm flying off this ride. I'm gonna be ragdolling, but I'm gonna be holding on. because I'm not going to be the guy that ends up passing away because he decided to do this, and then the guy beside him
Yeah.
who was holding on stays alive. I'm going to be the guy staying alive. You know what I mean? That's just nature versus what is it? What is it? Nature versus nurture? No, that's not the word I'm looking. Survival of the fittest.
Man
You know?
survival of the fittest. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
that's fair.
survival of the fittest. I'm the guy holding on to the ride in case something does go wrong. I have a monstrous grip on that thing, and there's no way I'm gonna be the guy that falls off that ride. How about you? Are
When I
you
when I was at
let it go?
Well, funny enough, when
I
I
think
was
you're
at
holding it too.
I am holding it. When I was at Universal last year, we were in
You're
line
damn
for a
right you
roller
are.
coaster, and right before this we were supposed to go on, they go, "Oh, we're gonna need 15 minutes here. The cart got stuck." So the people got stuck at
Oh,
the top and they had to go fix it. And we were at the front, so we were next to go. So I'm sitting there, I'm
oh
like,
no.
guys, do we really
Let's
want to
go.
do this? They're like, yeah, we're fine, we're fine. And we ended up doing it. It
Oh
was
hell no,
fine, but
I'm
like
off there.
I was holding on for my dear life because I was like, if this thing gets stuck, like you will never see me at an amusement park ever again. I don't care if I have kids or anything. I'm never gonna be here again.
Yeah, like if the ride is broken, I'm see you later. I don't care how long I waited. Yeah, no, that's just a sign from the universe saying, "Nah, I'm telling you right now. I just warned you." You know what I mean? Because now if something happens, that's on you. You know what I mean? You saw that the
Yeah,
cart was
that was
messed
on
up.
us.
The universe is telling you, hey, maybe maybe stay off this one today. Look at the ride's not working too well. And I'd be like, yeah, let's peel out. Let's go over to the water park for a second. Let's go over to the slides. You know what I mean? Something a little less
Yeah.
high, something a little less risk. You know what I mean? Let me go to that water bucket that just spills on you. Let me just go stand under there for a bit,
Oh,
just chill out.
you ever go to
Yeah,
Great
maybe take
Wolf
the
Lodge?
sunglasses off in the water park.
You
Um,
ever go to Great Wolf Lodge?
no.
Oh, it was like a water park where they had the big bucket and it whoosh goes on top and there's all the water
Yeah, I think every
slides and
water
wave
park
pools.
has that, no? Every
Well,
water
this
park
this
has
one,
one of
like,
those,
it
no?
was I think it's near Niagara, like, I remember going a couple times as a kid, like, if you're Canadian and you live in Ontario, you're listening to this, and you've been to Great Wolf Lodge, drop Great Wolf Lodge in the comments because that was the spot for
No free
kids for
promo.
water parks. I used to love it.
No free
I would
promo.
again, another place that I probably can't go at 24 by myself, but at the time, great place to be.
Okay. That's the water park segment of this episode.
Yeah, if we're tying it
Where are
all
we going
back,
from here? What were
well,
we
just to
talking about
mention,
before?
Cutter Gauthier being in Anaheim, if you're gonna go to Disney
Oh,
World, 1, make sure you don't go by yourself, and number 2, hold that hold that strap in the roller coasters for your dear life because the last thing we wanna
yeah.
see is an athlete like your caliber going down to a roller coaster.
Yeah, make sure you're holding that thing two hands and extremely tense body, like everything tense. I want your whole like upper body engaged on that like lats. I want your lats involved. I want your chest involved. Like everything, just in case you get ragdolled off the thing and you gotta hold on and you're going down like a slope like this, like slope that's like
Yeah.
straight down. And they're almost like it's almost a negative angle. So they're even crazier. They go like this. So you
Oh, yeah.
really got to be holding that thing just in case you get ragdolled. And if you guys are listening to this, probably don't go on another ride. You know what I mean? This is probably the universe telling you, hey, these rides are dangerous and maybe stay
Stop
away
'em.
from the behemoth next time you go. You know what I mean? That this could be your sign, and you're listening to this for a reason. Because the universe wants you to know, man, these rides are a little dicey, and make sure you're doing your research on the rides before hopping on. Do you remember that? What was that the Great Canadian Mine Buster? That wood one, that
Oh,
Canadian
yeah, just boom,
Wonderland,
boom, boom, boom,
Canada's
boom. Your
Wonderland.
head's just
I was like,
smacking. Yeah, your head's
I was on
smacking.
that thing, and I'm like, this is some two by fours that have been here for 20 years, and are we trusting this Great Canadian Mine Buster to do its thing
What's it
still?
called?
Yeah, we could talk about these
Whiplash?
things all day. I could talk about this all day.
Yeah, PSA for amusement park goers, just you know what you're in for, but Cutter Gauthier, I'm sure, is fine. By the way, is that his real name, Cutter? Like, that's the sickest name I've ever
It's
heard.
a sick name. How sick is that name?
Cutter.
Cutter?
Cutter.
That's Cutsy? What do you Cutsy or Cutter? I think you just call him Cutter. Cutter.
Yeah,
That's a
cuts.
fire name. I think that might be the sickest name in the league. Cutter Gauthier.
Cuts.
Cutter
That's like,
Gauthier.
there's a running back for the Eagles, and his last name is Swift. Like, for a running back, that's the best name you can have,
That's
DeAndre
sick.
Swift.
Even Cuts would be sick because you're cutting. You're always
Cuts.
doing like different cuts. Yeah, Cuts is sick. It's a sweet name. I think that might be the
Yeah.
best name in the league. Like what other name in the NHL would be? better than that.
I maybe not better, but I
Nick
love the
Bonino?
name Capo Caco.
Bonino? Boni
Bonino, Bonino, Bonino,
Ca
Bonino, Bonino, Bonino. Yeah, that's a sick one.
Yeah, Bonino's a sick name.
Capo Caco is a funny one. I like that.
TJ Oshie? That's a sick name.
Oh, yeah, you just like certain
Um,
guys just have names that are like made for professional athletes. Like you wouldn't see a guy that works in accounting named Capo Caco. You just wouldn't see that.
yeah, that's definitely a cool name for sure. Like, you're not seeing Capo Caco everywhere.
No. Well, you know what else
No
is a
cap.
cool name? You know what else is a cool name?
Tell me.
Willie Styles. 11 and a half, 8
Ooh,
years. How do you
William
feel like as a
Nylander?
like he got paid
How do you
happy for it,
pronounce
but
it?
like Nylander or Nylander?
I remember when he
Nylander.
first came in the league, there was an announcer that was always calling him William Nylander, and I'm like, man, is it Nylander? Nylander?
It might
Nylander?
be.
Nylander? Is it Nylander? Is it
Well, he's Swedish, so there
Nylander?
might be some way they say it
Is
that
it
we don't,
Nyland?
but
Is it Nylander?
it's Wi-
Nylander?
it's Willie Big Bucks now. 11 and a
It's
half,
Willie
8 years.
Stacks, is what it is. It's Willie
Willie Cheddar.
Stacks.
Willie
Willie
Cheddar.
Cheddar from now on. How about that?
Willie Cheddar. I like
Willie
okay, Willie
Willie
Cheddar.
Bags. Willie
You like
Bags.
the contract though? Is it a good deal? Is it about
Love it.
like
I love it.
8 years
I love every
though?
minute
That's
of it. Love every minute of it.
8 years is a long
Love
time
every
though.
second of it. That's why it's such a good contract. Because no, like that salary cap's just gonna keep going up. 11.5's not even gonna seem like that big of a deal.
Yeah, right now that's like top 10, right? Highest paid. He's got to be in the top 10, 15. But
But
you're
he's
right, it
top.
will
He's
go
like
up.
top 5 in scoring.
Yeah, well deserved. But now you got Marner next year. He's probably gonna say, "Hey, like unless it starts with an 11, don't bother offering it to me." So
Oh yeah. Oh
you
yeah.
pay
He's gonna
him the
want
same
like
thing.
12.5, 13. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna be able to afford him, but it's gonna be interesting to see. I'm amped. I like seeing my guys get a little bit of cash
Eight
because
years just seems like a lot. Like, is he gonna be
you will.
playing at the
Why
same
would you?
level of skill in 8 years?
What if he goes? What if he just keeps getting better? He's 27, isn't he? Like, what is
Yeah,
he?
so 30.
27?
You think at 34, 35, he's gonna be playing like he is right now?
No, but from 27, he could get better next year. He could get like 28, 29, 30. Yeah, 34 is not that old. Look at Crosby. He's 35. He's putting up like 100 points this year or 80 points.
Yeah, I guess it's just how high you see his like
Look at
the first 4
LeBron.
years of the deal. What do you mean?
Look at LeBron at age 38. He's leading the league still.
Yeah, but like you're talking about like Crosby, LeBron, Nylander, like one of these guys is not in this conversation. No offense, but I'm
Oh,
not
well,
putting
you're saying
Willie
is
Cheddar
that
on
style shade?
LeBron's level.
Is that
A
Willie
little bit.
Style shade I'm hearing?
No,
You're throwing
it's
some
not
shade at
shade.
my
It's just
boy Willie Style show? That's
it's
crazy. You're
not
talking
shade.
about Style
I'm a
show like that.
fan.
You're talking
No,
about
don't get me wrong.
Willie
I'm a
Styles like that.
fan.
I can't believe it. Can't believe it.
He's not LeBron.
Let's
He's
talk
not
about it then.
LeBron.
Let's talk about it then.
Okay. Do you think
Buddy,
he has a high enough
Willie
ceiling to be the
Styles,
best
man.
player? No, let me ask you a question. Do you see
You
that
ask me a question.
at any point in this contract will he be the best player in the league?
I think he could be the best player in the league this year.
Wow. You think he's
If you
passing
match, but
McDavid
what
at
if he
any
just
point in the next 8 years?
Davo?
In the next 8 years, you think he's gonna be better than
Is
Davo at any
Davo
point?
passing his style? You know what I mean? Like, because now you're asking me to break down something like, so that means off ice style counts,
On ice
personality,
performance.
on ice
Let's
skill. No, no, like, we can't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we can.
It's like you're trying no, because it's like the GOAT conversation comes down to a lot of different aspects. Okay. So if Willie Styles is putting up top 5 in points, but then Willie Styles is top 2% in the league in terms of looks, you know what I mean? Like, it could be said that, man, Willie Styles, he's the poster man in the league now. He's over in Sweden. He's on live TV shows. He's growing
Okay.
the game over there. There's a lot of things Styles can do. Look at his name, you know?
But are you paying him 11.5 just because of the suits he wears to the rink? No, you're paying for the on ice stuff.
It definitely has a little bit of a say in that price point. It's like, wow, like if this guy didn't dress as well, he'd probably be making 11. But no, he
Interesting.
dresses like an absolute stud. Coming into the room with
Interesting.
that kind of swagger, you're getting 11.5 with that little extra swagger. You know what I mean? When you have style and
Yeah.
flow, you have the glow, and when you have the glow, you get the big time bucks in the show.
I was watching the Leafs game on Thursday, and they were doing one of those side interviews, and one of the players or one of the coaches, I can't remember who, said that when they talked to Nylander, they said they've never seen a player with more confidence in their lives, whether that's on or off the ice, or probably both. I mean, he's a stud. Don't get me wrong, he's a stud.
That's
I'm more of a
yeah.
Joffrey Lupul guy myself, but Nylander's a stud. Don't get me wrong.
You got a crush on Joffrey?
No, he's a good looking man. He's a handsome man. You know,
He's on
we
Roby.
can
He's on.
Robida Island. Yeah, that's a funny one.
Yeah,
That's a
he's on
funny
Roby
meme these
Island.
days.
Roby Island. Uh, yeah,
Yeah,
Joffrey is hasn't been around in a while, but William
yeah.
Styles
No,
is
I was.
definitely. We can cut this
Yeah, Willie
segment.
Smells. He'll
We
probably
can
be
cut this
10,
part.
top 10 in the league. My thing was just like 8 years, 11. You just the long contracts scare me because it's like, is he going to be playing at this level in year 7 and year 8? If he is, and by God, great move, Treliving. But I, you know what I mean. I'll let him play before I keep talking. How about that?
Yeah, let's see what he does.
Let's see what
Okay,
he
I want to
does.
see what kind of advertisements he's coming in because you're taking it from the objective on ice thing. I'm like, what if he's in some sweet advertisements? You know what I mean? What if he starts coming out with some funny Coach Chippy commercials with Coach Chip? You know what I mean? That would be unreal. I'd be like, man, like Styles and Chippy in a commercial together. I'd be like, man, this guy deserves every penny. You know. So it depends on when he starts doing off ice. Like, what if he starts, doing some funny commercials, and you're like, man, let's pay him all the money because this guy's a superstar in these commercials. He's doing some acting too.
Okay.
I just can't help but notice my eyes are two different sizes right now.
See, I don't
Is my
see it, but if you
one eye
say it
more open?
more
This one's more open than this one.
for the listeners that can't see this, Chippy's
What is
concerned
going
one eye is
on?
bigger than the other.
Like one
You
eye's
look
like
great.
more open than the other. I know.
Maybe you're
I'm
tired.
maybe it's the angle. I don't know what's going on,
I don't
but
know.
I'm like looking at myself and I'm like
I
one
think you
eye
look
is bigger
great.
than the other.
I think you look great.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. No, I'm just like,
Appreciate it.
whoa, this is just like I've never noticed that before. I don't know if it's just the reflection.
Like trying to see it. It looks fine from here, but I do want to talk about.
You don't think
You
this
see the.
one's more open than the other?
It is right now, yeah, but like it's like
That's what I'm saying.
sometimes it
Is
is, sometimes it isn't. Like it's fine now.
I know how trippy is
So
that?
I don't know. I don't know. That's why I wear the glasses. You don't need to worry about these. You don't need to
Yeah.
worry
When are
about
we getting
those.
the eye reveal?
I don't know. I'm doing skits without. If you go to my page, like the last few skits, I'm doing them without. Like Prince, logo, character.
Like
I mean, we all we
I don't get any of your facial expressions now. I can't even see what your eyebrows are doing.
oh, you see them. They're thick. You can see them.
That's how I
If you go,
communicate with these. Boom, boom.
if you watch, if like all the skits I do aren't glasses, so it's becoming less and less. Oh, he's wearing the glasses. What does he look like without them? Like if you follow me, you know by now what I look like without glasses. But for the pod, it's a bright light in my face here. I do like wearing the sunglasses. So eyes are eyes are for my eyes only, no pun intended. But I do want to
For
move
your
on
eyes
and talk
only.
about. Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
talk
Let's talk about
about.
some sports.
Yeah, so you see the Patriots emblem above me here. I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up Bill Belichick. Done. Out. Fired
No way.
from the
He's
New England
gone. So
Patriots.
he's gone. So
He's gone. End of an era, as Robert Kraft said in the exit interview. Emotional stuff from Belichick. Everyone put out their thank yous, and Patriots already hired a new coach too, so did not take long to move on from Big Bill in New England.
as a Patriots
Sad stuff.
fan, what are your immediate thoughts?
It doesn't surprise me. Like there was rumblings, going back 5 years ago about dissension between him and Brady and the power struggle they had in the organization. Ultimately, Bill won. Brady left, went to Tampa Bay, won a Super Bowl, and then retired. But the last few years,
So
Patriots have been very bad, very, very bad. 4 and
so it was all
12 this year.
Tom.
No,
So
it's
Tom
it's
Brady
sad.
was the piece, and that's what
I would
Tommy
I
had to
would
go prove. Is that why Tom Brady left? Yeah, it is.
I wouldn't
No
say
way.
that. I
Tommy's
think
like I can win without him.
well, here's my not even conspiracy theory, just from all the information I've read and gathered over the last few years. Bill wanted to move on from Tom, but Tom wanted to finish his career in New England. But Bill's like, look, like you're getting older. We want to restart. We want a new guy. They drafted a quarterback, and Brady leaves, and that's why Brady was kind of like, you know what, f you guys. I'm gonna go win a ring with another team to show you that I'm still him. And I don't think the Patriot,
That's
or
what I'm
at
saying.
least Bill, didn't believe he was still him, and that's why they got rid of him. But it's not a surprise that he's gone. I think the team needs a reset, to be honest.
Yeah, you're gonna be in rebuild mode for the next what was it, like 5 years probably?
Oh yeah, they got the third
10
overall
years?
pick this
Next
year.
10 years?
I don't want to say
Next 10
10. It's
years?
just I wouldn't say
Yeah,
10.
rebuilds
Five,
take a while there, Prince.
five.
Prince, rebuilds take a while, brother.
They have I would argue they have a playoff to Super Bowl caliber defense when healthy. It's just their offense is a joke. Like Juju Smith-Schuster is not a wide receiver one in any offense in the NFL.
Is he one?
That's just
We
my
love
take.
Juju. I used to watch Juju on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Juju, but they brought him in to play like the role of like a Cooper Cup or a Edelman, like an elite slot guy. It's just that's not him. You know what I mean? He's a two. So I didn't agree with that, but a lot of people say the Patriots dynasty ended, or Patriots end of an era was this week. I disagree. I think 5 years ago, 2018 draft is when it all ended. Or sorry, 2019 draft is when the Patriots dynasty ended because there was a ton of great receivers in the draft. Debo Samuel, AJ Brown, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, and the Patriots drafted N'Keal Harry. Have you heard of that guy before?
Never in my life.
Exactly. He was a bust. He didn't do anything at the pro level. This was Brady's last season with the Patriots. And when Brady said, look, you guys aren't giving me any help offensively, I'm out of here, which led to him going to win a championship and the Patriots going with Cam Newton and then Mac Jones and then Bailey Zappi and just a slew of guys that couldn't fit the bill of playing quarterback for the Patriots. So I believe that draft, when instead of taking a top 15 NFL receiver to keep Brady around, they drafted a dud. That is when the Patriots dynasty ended, in my opinion.
So it's been a quarterback buffet over there in New England then.
Yeah, we had Cam Newton for a little bit, and then they drafted a guy in the first round, Mac Jones. He had a good rookie year, but then he was trash. And then they brought in Bailey Zappi, who was like a fifth round or fourth round pick. He was okay, but he's trash too. Like they don't have an alpha like a Tom Brady, and that's what's holding them back from competing with Josh Allen and the Bills, Tua and the Dolphins, Mahomes and the Chiefs, right? These guys are levels above because their quarterback is the best player or one of the best players on the
How's
planet.
that Trevor Lawrence guy doing? I remember watching him a lot. He was like supposed to be the next guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's had some injury trouble. Like coming out of college, that was supposed to be, you're right, the next like big thing. And it does seem like they're on the right track with that in Jacksonville, but he had shoulder issues, he had ankle issues. Like he was hurt and they didn't even make the playoffs this year because of his injuries, but I still have hope. Like he's got a cannon. He's got an absolute cannon.
Yeah, he does. I remember watching him because whenever I watch the high school I heard so much about this guy. He's like LaMelo Ball. Like it was like he was like that hyped up high school. Then he didn't lose a game or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went to Clemson, and then he was lighting it up over there. And then yeah, when I hear about these guys, I always like want them to succeed because I've been watching them before they even hit the league. So it's always dope to like follow them before they go to the big boy league, and then you feel like you've been a part of the journey a little bit. So I always like watching the high school basketball, high school football, and seeing
That's
which
cool.
guys are like dominating. Yeah, it's dope following them all the way to the league. It's like
Yeah.
LaMelo Ball. I started watching him in grade 9 with Chino Hills, and then now to watch him get drafted and then play in the league. It's like, yo, you feel like you're a part of this guy's journey.
Well, I remember you showed me like maybe 5, 6 years ago on YouTube Matt McClung highlights, and then he won the dunk contest. I was like,
Yeah,
oh yeah, I remember Chippy showed me that guy. Yeah,
yeah, he was a
you
superstar
got
in
a good
high
eye for
school.
talent, clearly.
I do. But like obviously those clips were getting like 1 million, 2 million views. So like, yeah, for the most part, I don't watch as much anymore. But back in like when I was in high school, I'd watch so much basketball. Like I knew more about basketball than I knew about hockey. Like I loved
Wow.
it. Like it was just like more fun to watch. Like these guys are doing like 360 dunks and
Yeah, I've never been big into like the high school tapes because I feel like so much changes between high school and the NFL. I do like watching the college tapes, like before the draft. If there's like a nasty receiver or QB running back, I always like watching their highlight tapes. So a guy whose name you'll be hearing a lot over the next 5 years, Marvin Harrison Jr. He's like one of the best wide receiver prospects of the last decade. And you watch this guy's highlights, he's absurd. And everyone's saying his like pro comparison is Calvin Johnson, which is like one of the best receivers to ever do it. And the fact that people are putting these expectations on him already is absurd. He's supposed to go top 5 this year. Whoever team he goes to, he's going to be an asset in fantasy, and there's very high hopes for him. So if there's a one college tape I would advise you to check out, it's Marvin Harrison Jr.
okay, I'll have to check that out. I used to watch a lot of Destroying. He goes to these different
Oh yeah,
high schools and does like one-on-one like receiver versus like defensive backs or whatever they're called. Um,
DBs.
and it's fun to
Yeah.
watch. It's fun to watch them go at it. You got the receivers and then you got the quarterback, and yeah, they compete for like money every week. It's pretty dope.
Well, sometimes the highlight tape being too good's dangerous. Like there was a guy, Zach Wilson, a few years ago. He had one of the greatest throws I think I've ever seen on his pro day, and everyone was freaking out. It went viral. He ended up going number 2 in the draft. He had a good season in college, but that throw he made at the pro day is what everyone was freaking out about. And to this day, he's been one of the biggest quarterback busts of the last probably 5, 10 years. He's not, he's a starter now, but he was the backup to Aaron Rodgers, and then Rodgers got hurt, so he became the starter. But he had a crazy pro
Yeah,
day, and those
I think I saw
went
the clip.
viral. Yeah, it was one of those
Wasn't he like throwing it off
insane
like the
throws.
back leg? He was just like
Yeah, it
throwing
was
it off
like,
the back leg, 100 yards.
yeah. So that, like, you remember the fact that, like, you remember that. I mean, like, he went viral for it, but, he's never done that at the pro level. He's never done anything close to that at the pro level. So sometimes these highlight tapes can be deceiving.
100%. I think it's a lot mental. Mental is definitely the bigger aspect of it. Like you might have the skill, but do you have the mental capability to handle that pressure in the big boy league?
Yeah, that's why I think Trevor Lawrence will be fine. Like, he seems like he's pretty comfortable being, facing adversity. He didn't lose in college, but he's starting to lose a lot now, and I think they're building something special in Jacksonville. So if there's one team in the AFC that's a sleeper moving forwards, I like Jacksonville. Funny enough, and this just goes to show how terrible of a gambler I am. I was very high, or not very high. My sleeper team for the Super Bowl was the Jaguars, and the Jaguars didn't even make the playoffs. So another common W for Prince here.
Oh my goodness. Don't listen to Prince's picks. We talked about this on episode 1. Go opposite.
And two,
Pick opposite of
and
what Prince
three,
does.
and four. Well, last week on the show, I said I'm taking the Colts over the Texans. Colts lost. And so I don't even think I want to give predictions for the NFL playoffs, but by Monday, half of them could be wrong. I don't even know.
Yeah, Prince. Like, come on, dude.
It's hard. And then
Do
you
some more
fade yourself.
research.
It's not about research, it's about overthinking.
No, what it
I don't
is,
know.
it's about reason I was so good at it was just because I align with the universe. I let the universe tell me what's gonna
Okay.
happen, and then okay. I mean, it's just what happens,
Okay.
buddy.
I'll give you one of these.
So
Okay. Sure.
okay, buddy. You know it's true. Every pick
I
I
mean,
make is gold
why'd you stop betting though?
because they didn't allow me to anymore because I was winning so much.
Mm. Mm.
Got kicked out of off all the sites. They're all like, man, this guy's just gonna
Yeah.
clean us. This guy's just gonna clean us every time, so we can't even let him.
You know how they have on Twitter the community community notes where someone corrects someone for saying misinformation. I want one of those on the bottom here. Chippy, stop gambling because
Oh,
the opposite happened.
no. It's false. Prince is lying.
Well, you sticking to the Bills for Super Bowl? I know you like the Chiefs, or you said Bills last week. Is that your team?
Well, of course, it's the Chiefs is my team. You know that's the Chiefs, but like the Bills are the one I'm going to be cheering for the most.
They might play each other next round. What does that game look
Yeah,
like?
no, I'm a Chiefs guy, so it's like tough, man. Like Chiefs are my team, but like the Bills need it more. Buffalo
I
needs it
agree with
more.
that. That's a good take. Yeah,
Buffalo needs it more, man.
that's a good take.
So I would love to see Buffalo win.
Yeah, Josh Allen is like he's a unicorn because he'll make some of the worst throws you'll ever see, and then the very next play he'll make one of the greatest throws you'll ever see. And it's just he leads the league in interceptions, but he's also a front runner for MVP, which is unheard of.
Wow. Wow. That is an insane stat. Leading the league in interceptions and an MVP. So he must just be throwing that thing like a wild man out there.
Yeah, last week he had 2 interceptions and a fumble, so 3 turnovers, and they still
No
won, and he had
way.
over 300 yards passing and 2 TDs. So, he's an anomaly for
Wow.
sure. Yeah,
High risk, high
so
reward type player.
yeah, which is awesome because it'd be nice to see a guy like that win, but I'm sticking to the Ravens. I think this is the year for Lamar Jackson. I remember when he got drafted, he was pissed because he went 31 overall, and they asked him, "What are you bringing to Baltimore?" And he goes, "They're gonna get a Super Bowl out of me. Believe that." I believed it, and I think this is the year Lamar gets it done for the Ravens.
He went 31. Lamar went 31.
Yeah, fifth quarterback taken in
Jeez.
the class. 31 or 32. He went like very late,
Wasn't
which
like a
was like
stacked class though. It was like Mahomes.
no, it was like Baker Mayfield, who's still around, so that wasn't bad. He
Oh,
went first. Uh Darnold, I want to say, and that was he's a backup. So I think Josh Allen went that year. So I'll give you that. Josh Allen did go before Lamar, so that's fair. But yeah, Lamar 32 is just one of those things we
and
look
he could
back on
run
like,
like the
wow.
wind. He could run like the
And
wind.
people were hesitant to adopt that style of play. Like now it's very common, but at the time people were like, "Oh, how's this guy gonna fare in the playoffs?" And to that point, he hasn't done anything in the playoffs so far in his career. But I mean, he might win MVP again this year, so 2 MVPs already. Like he's a dog.
Like
He's a dog.
I don't watch a ton of football, but the QB run just seems so elite. Like I feel like it's hard to stop a QB run that can also throw. Like I just feel like it's like the most impossible thing to defend. I don't watch a lot of football, but whenever I did watch, just seemed like, man, just go for the run. Like they're giving you the field. If you got Jets, like how do you stop a
Yeah.
QB that can run?
You see it a lot more now. Like Josh Allen, he's like whenever they get to the 1 yard line, he's always running it in, or if they have a short yardage, he's running. Jalen Hurts, same thing. Lamar. So I think people are starting to be aware of that, and a lot of the guys coming out of college can run. The only concern is if you run and you get hurt, right? It's a pretty
Yeah,
careless
but
play to
come
get
on.
hurt on. Like you don't
Not
want
if you're
to
gaining 50
risk a
yards.
season over a slide.
Yeah,
But I
but
see
like
what you're
these guys are
saying.
built. They're eating the right foods. Like you're like, you know what I mean? You gotta toughen your body up a bit. But yeah, like if you can get a quarterback that can run like a running back, good luck
Lamar,
stopping that.
yeah,
'Cause that's what I'm
Lamar
saying.
Jackson, yeah. So
I'm
I'd say
amped to
Lamar
see
can
that
do
in the
that.
playoffs. I like Lamar.
Josh Allen can do that. Jalen Hurts can do that. Uh, I'm sure I'm forgetting
Didn't
some
Lamar get
names.
hurt? Didn't he hurt his knee or something like that?
No, this is like knock on wood, one of his first complete bill of health years. So
That's what I'm saying.
let's
Like,
hope
hasn't he been
it's
hurt?
true.
That's why he hasn't been
Yeah, he's been
successful.
hurt.
Or
He missed. I think it was last year or 2 years ago. He missed for an extended period of time. There's a lot of injuries this year. Joe
interesting.
Burrow got hurt. Aaron Rodgers got hurt. Cousins, Deshaun Watson, everybody.
Joe Burrow, what's up? How's his career going?
He
Pretty good,
like
eh?
he got hurt before the season started. He messed up his calf. He came back a couple games in, and then his wrist or his hand was messed up, and so he's out for the year. Like I think that team's fine, but it really just depends on his health because his rookie year he missed almost the entire season with injury. So like when he's healthy, top 10, probably even top 5, but that's the thing when he's healthy. Because it's such an unforgiving sport. There's always so many injuries. So, if your team has a guy that can avoid getting hurt, that can stay in good shape, like a Tom Brady, you're going to be successful for an extended period of time.
Okay, I got a challenge for you. Give
Okay.
me one animal that describes Patrick Mahomes.
One animal that describes Patrick Mahomes. Ooh, that's a great question. I'd say a lion. He's like a leader. He's able to, you know, he's the king of the jungle. And they won the Super Bowl last year,
I
so
thought you were gonna
technically
say a
he is the
frog.
king. Oh, Kermit, yeah. Oh my God, Grace. Yeah, offense played really well today. Yeah, I don't know. Like he's a lion. He's a lion. I'm sure they make fun of his voice all the
Okay.
time, but he's a lion. Rawr. I like
That's
that.
hilarious.
I
Yeah,
mean,
give
listen, we
me
could
okay.
be with the way we talk, right? Prince Huda, Monday this comes out, Mahomes might not even be in the playoffs anymore. So that's just putting it out there. Got any
Who'd they
other
play?
Miami? So Tyreek Hill revenge game.
Oh my goodness, that's the game of the year.
Tyreek Hill returned to Kansas City first round of the playoffs. Like you can't write this
Oh
stuff any
my
better.
goodness. So how many
Yeah.
yards is Tyreek going for? Or are they gonna lock him up?
I think they lock him up, but it's also supposed to be like
No
minus
way.
30 degree. It's supposed to be minus 30 and windy, so not the best game for throwing the football.
You don't think
But
Tyreek's gonna
Tyreek's
go
gonna
for like an 80-yard rush? He's gonna do a little slant play where they throw it it's just a little,
Yeah.
and he's gone, dude. He's gonna take it. I think he's gonna take it onto the house. He's gonna do like an 80-yarder.
Okay. Okay, I like that. I
Then he's gonna go like this.
Tyreek Hill. I'll bet
Then he's gonna do
Tyreek
this to the
Hill
crowd.
touchdown just for you. I will place a wager on a Tyreek Hill touchdown for Coach Chippy. Guess
It's
for
either
how
he's
many?
gonna have a massive game or he's gonna be
Or a dud.
snake
Yeah.
bit all game.
Well, they
Yeah,
played they played
he's
earlier
gonna
in the
like.
year, but it was in Germany and Tyreek only had like 60 yards. But now he's playing in Kansas City, playoffs against Patrick, against Travis, his old boys. He should have a big game.
I would be betting Kelsey TD as well.
Okay, a little
If I were
parlay
you.
from Coach Chippy there. Okay, so Kelsey anytime, Tyreek anytime.
Yeah,
I'll be
like
killing that.
if I was going to,
I'll do it.
yeah, Kelsey TD for sure.
I'll do it.
Um, yeah, Kelsey's the guy. We know Kelsey's number one option in those playoff games. It's going to
Prince Chippy
Kelsey all game.
picks. Prince Chippy
Yeah,
picks. I
it's
like
going to
that.
Kelsey. It's going to Kelsey all game.
I bet right now the over on his catches. Like I think it's only 5.5, so I'm sure he'll get more than 5.5. But you know,
Yeah, he's
it's
gonna
the
be targeted a
playoffs.
lot.
Yeah, they're gonna feed
They're
him,
gonna try
but
to get him
should
going
be a
early too.
great game. Pardon me?
Yeah, they're gonna try to get him going early. Like they're gonna try
Oh,
to get that
absolutely.
ball in Kelsey's hand early. For sure. Like first
Absolutely.
drive. I could see him getting like the first 3 catches.
Oh, I like this. Give it some insights. Well, what like when you're watching, you got the Leafs game here, you got the Chiefs game. Are you flipping back and forth? You got two screens going. Is it stay on one commercial break, stay on one commercial break? Like how do you watch two games at once?
That's usually flip it back and forth, or like I'm not like one of those guys that has like 2 games going at once. It's flip it, commercial flip, like whatever game is more interesting at that moment. Like if it's a 3-1 game for the Leafs, you know what I mean? Okay, we can kind of scroll over to the Chiefs game.
Yeah.
Um, Like I'll probably watch more of the Chiefs game than
Yeah, it's gonna
depending. It was
be. Well, they're
football's
playing
boring to
Colorado's.
watch. Football can be
Whoa,
boring to watch,
whoa.
and this is a take that I know a lot of people aren't gonna like to hear. But you have to understand where I'm coming from because I watch hockey. There's no whistles. There's no stoppage of play in hockey. It's the most fast-paced game. You could go 7 minutes without a whistle in hockey, right? Like you can go 7 minutes of playtime. Whereas football, every play, it's whistle, everyone walks back. It's like there's so much downtime in football that it makes it difficult for a hockey fan to come over to football, is all I'm saying. Um, and that's one thing I've noticed.
That's hot take for sure. But
So
like there
hockey
are.
is way quicker, way more fast paced, just less stoppage of time in a sport
Yeah,
like
I think
hockey.
if you're an experienced fan of the NFL, you know when the commercial breaks are coming, so it's easier to sort of deal with. But just like in
No,
hockey,
but
there
just
are
even
times
in
where you
between
go
plays.
7 minutes. Yeah, but there are times where there's a drive that goes for like 7 minutes, no timeouts, no stoppages, and it goes like
No, but the
it really just
drive
depends on
is
the flow. No, it depends on the flow of the game, same as hockey.
no, but
Like the
every play
fourth
there's a
quarter,
whistle in football.
yeah, every play because it stops, right? But it's like it doesn't
That's what I'm
like
saying.
you start the next one, you start the next one. Like it's more strat, like it's kind
No,
of
but
like
then there's like a
moving in
face
chess, right?
mask.
Move,
There's a face
next move,
mask, and then it's
move,
like,
next move.
boom, offside.
Yeah, nothing takes you out of the game more than like a shit ton of penalties. But like I don't know, as a fan, like because you're gonna like this is playoffs now. Like that fourth quarter is going to be electric. Like you might even stay during the commercial breaks because you're so invested you don't want to miss a second.
Yes,
That's all I'm
100%.
saying.
Like you do have to get dialed. Like when it's an elimination game, it is definitely way more intriguing. But just as a general, like
Absolutely.
probably why I don't watch a lot of football is just because of that very reason.
Okay.
It's just
That's
it's not as fast paced. I don't like. It's not that I don't know what's going on. Like I've watched enough football. Like I know offsides. I know flags, face mask. Like I know enough about football that I do enjoy watching it. I just don't watch it during the regular season because I don't have a team that I necessarily can even watch the game on because it's not really on our channels. Like maybe the odd football game, but it's not like I can follow the Kansas City Chiefs every game because I don't. Like, it's not
no.
even available unless I stream it on my computer, which I'm just not gonna go do. So yeah,
That's
hockey is
fair.
a lit sport. Football's great too. I know football fans are gonna be like, "What is this guy talking about?" But go watch some
No, the
hockey
biggest
and
hindrance of football is the commercials. Like I think a lot of people will agree with you there. Like it's hard to get into because every single play there's a stop. So unless you fully understand the rules and the strategy of the game, it's probably very frustrating for someone like you said that just watches hockey to watch football.
yeah, and
I
then it's
agree.
like
That was I said it was a
if
hot take, but it was actually
yeah.
a pretty good take. So I'll give you your flowers.
Well, yeah, the take is just like, um, yeah, both sports are great. It's just one sport. If you haven't watched it your whole life and you're just like flipping it on, and you're probably likely to like watch one play and then it's like dies down, and then you're like more likely to switch off that channel again and go find another thing that's happening.
Yeah,
The most
like
boring sport is curling, though. I'll say curling is like if I see curling, it's an immediate channel flip.
well, that's just a Canadian thing. I
Like I
doubt
can't
they show
even.
curling on TV in America.
I know they have that.
Maybe they do.
They have that on TSN like every day. It's the curling world championship. How many curling world championships are there? Like every day they got some curling on.
To me, the most boring sport to watch on TV is golf.
I
Like,
love golf.
I just the pace and the commentators is just like
If it's
it's
major
so
though,
like whoa. Yeah, if it's the last few holes of a major, but like people throw on their TV on a Friday and watching, second round of a tournament. I Who cares? Do you care? I don't care.
I follow golf. I do like watching golf.
I know you do. I want to see what you say about that.
golf there's no downtime.
No.
You go watch one person hit, it's on to the next person hitting. There's no like, right? They have the camera on the whole field or the whole course, so you're always like, oh, and then this just happened at hole 3, and they're showing a guy that just stuck one tight, and then it goes, oh, and this, like the amount of there's no downtime. It's always someone hitting.
But do you care about every player hitting, or you just how do they hit it? Like when you're
Well,
watching,
you're
what is
watching
your like? You're not watching as a fan
well,
cheering on a player. Like, are you or like what is your mo?
I think you're just like watching good golf shots. Like you're like, this person's in the rough. What club are they using? They have to get this up and down. Are they going to spin it? And then it's just like as a avid golfer myself, like you don't necessarily have to be a fan of them to like be interested in how the shot's going to go. Because they're like, oh, they got to put this over the water. They got to land it into the wind. Like there's just so many aspects. Like I wouldn't say I necessarily cheer for anyone in these majors except for like Ricky Fowler maybe because I just wanted to win one. But like for the most part, you're just like any given day anyone can win, and you're like, who's gonna be hitting that ball properly? And yeah, it's amazing to watch a golfer when they're just hot and every shot they're making. It's like, how did he just do that? Like he just put that to like
That's fair.
2 feet from 185 yards.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think the biggest thing they can do to grow it, at least in my eyes, is we need some energy in those commentators. Like McElroy from the rough, 185 yards. Like I can't deal with that little whisper ASMR commentary. I need
Oh,
some
it's
more.
so good, dude.
Give me
It's
some
so
energy so
good.
I can feel energy watching it. That's all I'll say about that.
Okay, well, it's not one of those sports. It is one of those little. You want to hear the little zzz, that little the humming in the grass.
Yeah, the birds chirping. It's like no. Like give me some
And
like
then just and the guy just crisping a freaking 3-wood 300 yards. You're like, yeah, this guy can play. It's
into
definitely
the
a
hole.
slower pace ASMR
That's what
type game.
that's how I would describe
You
it. Just
hearing the crisp iron shot. They take a divot.
Tiger steps up to the green.
Tiger, like
20-yard
Tiger hitting
down
a stinger.
birdie putt. Like yeah, like the sound of it hitting the club hitting the ball. I'll give you that, but it's just like the lead up and a little bit of wind
And we
coming in
got
from the
Rory
northeast.
McIlroy.
Yeah, it's very easy to imitate.
Him
Excuse
and his
me.
caddy are discussing which club they want to go with. He was long on
Yeah.
hole yesterday with a bogey. He played it over that rough, and it's thick rough over there. You don't want to be over there. So he's going to be playing for the high cut in the wind. Let's see how it goes. What a shot by Rory.
Yeah.
What a shot.
Like if you're listening or watching this, that's pretty much how it is. Like we just described it to a T. But I appreciate golf fans. A lot of my friends golf, you included. Like I just got to get into it. I guess is my thing. But that's cool.
I'm going to the
That's cool.
simulators tomorrow.
Nice.
There's like this thing called North Swing. It's a food place,
No free
but you can
promo,
also I know. That's tough.
but it does sound pretty lit.
We
It
should
does, it
bleep
does sound
that.
pretty
We
lit.
should
So
bleep that, eh?
if he's going to a
No,
simulator,
yeah,
unnamed to have unnamed amount of fun.
it's gonna be
Yeah.
lit.
No, that's dope. That's dope. That's dope. Yeah, I'll probably be not touching much grass. Tonight we got 2 football games. Tomorrow we got 2 football games, and then Monday we got 2 football games. So awesome time for the playoffs. But I do want to touch on hockey. One more thing. I have a game for you based on our game last week. We're going to be playing start, bench, cut. I'm going to give you 3 players, 3 teams,
Oh,
and 3 uniforms. And I want you to give me your start, bench, cut of the 3. So what do you want to start
all
with?
right, let's
Players,
go.
teams, or uniforms?
Uniforms
Uniforms. Okay. So
or
start, bench,
teams,
cut these
teams.
teams. Okay. Start, bench, cut these 3 NHL teams: Chicago Blackhawks, Los Angeles Kings, and the Tampa Bay Lightning.
We are cutting the Tampa Bay Lightning immediately.
Okay.
As a Leafs fan, we got to get rid of Tampa. Bounce them. They're gone. So Tampa's so gonzo so quickly. Um, and I think now LA Kings, beautiful weather over there. Quentin Byfield, he's on Team Style and Flow. Kempe, Team Style and Flow. I really like that line. Over in Chicago, we got Bedsy. Fun to watch. I'm gonna have to start LA, bench Chicago,
Hmm,
cut Tampa
okay,
for sure.
that's fair. I had a feeling you'd cut Tampa. I was just curious. Chicago or LA? I guess Chicago would be a start in a few years, but LA for now. We're gonna
Yes.
move on
Yeah.
to team players. So I'm gonna give you three players. So three NHL players, start, bench, cut. Mitch Marner, Leon Draisaitl, and Matthew Tkachuk.
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm gonna start Mitchie Marner. He's my guy. I had a chance to meet him. He's an absolute beauty. He's on Team Style and Flow. So we're starting Mitchie for sure. For sure. And now we did have to play against the Florida Panthers in that series, and they bounced us. So we are cutting Kachuk. And
Wow.
we are benching. Who was the third guy?
It was
Drysaitel.
Leon
Yeah.
Draisaitl.
Yeah. Yeah. We're starting Mitchie, benching Drysaitel, cutting Kachuk.
You're starting Mitchie over Draisaitl. Wow. Like I understand the
Mitchie's my guy.
personal ties, but skill wise, really
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh, Mitchie's my guy. You know what I mean? Mitchie's Style and Flow. We're loyal over here.
But if Leon was style and flow, would that answer change?
No.
Okay. Loyal to
No.
his loyal to his faithful. We're gonna do one more NHL uniforms start bench cut. Seattle Kraken, Las Vegas Golden Knights, and Vancouver Canucks.
Jerseys. We're talking about jerseys here.
Yeah, unis, jerseys, pants,
Uh,
socks, all of it.
I'm not a huge fan of the Canucks jersey. I'm gonna have to cut the Canucks jersey immediately, and
Mm.
that's just because I like what they're doing with the new look with the two new teams here. I think the Golden Knights jerseys are nasty, and the Seattle Kraken jerseys are nasty. I'm gonna have to start the Golden Knights jersey, and I'm gonna have to bench the Kraken jersey though.
Wow. See, I'd start Kraken and I'm cutting Vegas. I think the Canucks jerseys are nice. And then if you factor in those black, red, and yellow ones, those are sweet too.
I don't know if I like the Canucks one. Maybe I forget what they even look like, to be honest. Like I'm just
The
thinking of like the
vintage ones.
old.
The new ones are yeah, but I think the
Okay,
vintage
yeah.
one's
What are
cool.
are we talking about vintage? Or are we talking about this year's jerseys? You know
I
what I
guess
mean?
I
No,
did yeah,
that's
because those two teams don't have vintage, but okay, let's give a different one then. So let's do three
okay.
NHL teams, start, bench, cut, uniforms. We'll go New York Rangers, we'll go LA Kings, and we'll go Dallas Stars.
Ooh, I love the LA King jersey. I love what they're doing with it. I like the colors. I like when they get the purple and black going.
Yeah.
I'm starting LA Kings. I think the LA Kings jersey is nasty. Style flow certified. Um, and then for me, I'm gonna have to. Then who were the other, who was it? It was.
It was the Rangers and the Stars. The
And then
two
I have to
very different colored jerseys.
bench the Rangers, and cut the Stars. I'm not a big fan of the green. I'm
Oh
not a
yeah.
big fan
I
of the
love
green at
that.
all.
I love the green. Like I think that's you don't see a lot of green in certain sports, but that's
Not
a
a fan of
nice
the
one. That's
green.
a nice green. Oh, really? With the Dallas and the Star, I love it. It's very
No.
creative, but agree to disagree. Very cool.
Nice.
Very cool. Well, I just wanted to get your take. So we agreed on some, disagreed on others, but I appreciate your participation. We'll
I'm gonna
continue
give
to
you
do
three.
games.
I'm gonna give
All
you
right,
three
give me three.
players. Start, bench, cut these three NHL players. I'm gonna give you Austin Matthews, Quinn Hughes, and Kucherov. Ready?
Ooh,
Should I go
okay. I
again?
was wondering. Okay, so Matthews, Kucherov, Quinn Hughes. Recency bias. I'm gonna start Matthews. I mean, lights out player this year, absolutely. Bench is where it gets tough. Uh, just because of him always
Quinn
dummying us
Hughes
in the
is
play.
lighting it up.
He is, but I'm gonna have to bench Kucherov, and I'm cutting Quinn Hughes. I'm gonna keep Kucherov on the
Olay.
team. Quinn Hughes, I appreciate it, but not on Prince's team.
Coach Chippy used to play against Quinn Hughes.
Is that why he came up?
You know, he's
Little
coming
name
up because
drop.
he's nasty, dude.
No, he's nasty.
Apparently,
Don't get me
someone's
wrong.
saying he almost got shifted to a centerman last year. They tried to convince Bruce Boudreau to move Quinn Hughes to center. That's what he just said on the
Well,
TV
that
the
would have
other
been
night.
stupid. Is that why they let him go?
Quinn Hughes
'Cause
is
he's
a center?
no.
Imagine Quinn Hughes as a center.
I don't know. Think about how he's dominating the league as a defender right now. Why change anything?
Well, I
If
don't
it
know.
ain't
Apparently,
broken,
Vancouver Canucks were trying to move him to center, man. How? I don't know. I feel like I could see him at center. He'd be nasty. Look at Jack Hughes.
yeah, he could do it. It just feels
Maybe.
like I don't know. I mean, he's pretty young. If he played against you, he's probably like what 24. He still has time to do that. But I mean, Canucks are rolling right now. I'd keep him at defense.
Yeah, no. I think they made a good decision leaving him at the point, but that would be pretty insane to see him up front. I would like to see that more. I'd like to see more defensemen turn forwards, forwards turn to D-man. Why not? Let's see it. Let's see the jumble it up a bit.
Yeah, maybe put Nylander on the point to make this 11-5 work. Need some
Nylander on the
defense.
point?
I mean, we need some defense.
I don't think
We got him
Nylander's
for
a
8
point guy.
years. Try it. I don't know. What do I know?
That we
What do we
jokes
know?
though. What do we
Well,
know?
that's what the All-Star games are for, right? They just screw around, and I'm sure we'll get a face-off of Jack Hughes. Oh no, Jack Hughes is hurt, right? Is he hurt?
Is he? I thought he came
He
back.
might be hurt. Okay. Well, if he is in the All-Star game, I'm sure we'll get a Quinn Hughes, Jack Hughes face-off at center ice at some point. So
Yes.
yeah, he's
Okay.
expected to miss months. So there you go. Prince knows.
Olay.
But
Let's hopefully heals
yeah,
up
I guess
quick.
we'll wrap up here. I mean, this was a good episode. We talked some football, we talked some hockey, we talked some amusement parks, which was fun. Didn't have that one on the
We
docket, but
did.
had some good discussion about whether or not we want to ride roller coasters. And as always, we got the games. I do want to keep doing the games. Play along if you're listening. Play along if you're watching. And yeah, Coach Chip, what do you got going on the rest of the week?
Oh, I gotta go to the gym.
Yeah,
Haven't left the house all day.
doing that lifting. Doing
Touch
that lifting.
grass. I gotta
Did
touch
you touch grass
grass.
this week? I know we talked about it last week. Did you manage to reach the grass this week?
Not much, but I tried. I tried to get out of the house for sure. Like
This week.
dude, it's hibernation. It's hibernation in the winter time. Like
Need some
the
color.
animals are doing it. The bears are doing it. There's not even any color outside. Even if I did go outside, there's no sun. I
That's
do need to
fair.
get out though. Like I know outside is the answer to everything in nature and
Fresh air running through your pores.
fresh
Yeah,
air
no,
is
I'm
absolutely correct.
to your point though. If I didn't have to leave the house, I wonder how much I'd be touching grass. But I'll make sure to touch some this week if you do too. So we'll leave it there.
I will be.
Touch some grass this week, people. Don't ride roller coasters. And have a great week. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate you listening. Make sure you follow Prince Huda and Coach Chippy on all socials. And we will see you next week.